Assalamualaikum and a very good day I'm wishing for the one who are viewing this video. As you can see from the start, I'm going to talk about a mirror, my symbolic object. When I chose the mirror, it originally felt like just a simple symbol of self-reflection, the type of thing we're seeing every day. But after completing my written reflection task, its meaning evolved. Now, the mirror represents not just what I can see, but everything I was not seeing before. Through deeper reflection, I realized how much of my learning was shaped by my own assumptions and default viewpoints. The mirror made me aware that my perception can be narrow-framed, just like the edges of the mirror. This new perspective helped me understand that meaningful learning requires me to look beyond the immediate reflection and explore what lies outside of the frame. For the second part, reflective role, what I learned about myself. This reflection changed how I understand myself as a learner and as a future teacher. One of the biggest discovery was how quickly I tend to rely on my own interpretations. I often believe that if something made sense to me, it must be the most logical or correct understanding. But through this reflective process, I realized how limiting that mindset can be. Emotionally, I learned that curiosity feels more empowering than certainty. When I allowed myself to step back and examine my assumptions, I noticed patterns in my reactions, like being too defensive when challenged or rushing to conclude the discussions. These reactions surprised me because I didn't realize how much I valued by being right. The mirror helped me confront that. It reminded me that learning is not about confirming my thoughts, but expanding them. I also learned to listen with intention. Instead of waiting for my turn to speak, I practiced absorbing others' perspective fully, especially when they differ from mine. This helped me develop empathy and patience, and it strengthened my ability to interpret challenges more openly. I begin to appreciate diversity of thought as not just something good to have, but something necessary for deeper understanding. Overall, the reflective growth I experienced showed me how important it is to remain open, humble, and aware of the blind spots that I carry. For the third part, professional application, future teaching practice. These insights will directly influence the kind of teacher I want to become. One of the most important strategies I plan to apply is intentionally viewing learning through my students' perspective. Instead of designing lessons only from what I think is clear, I want to involve my students' voices, backgrounds, and learning preferences in the process. This reflection also made me realize the importance of responding to challenges with flexibility, not frustration. In the classroom, students may struggle, misunderstand, or interpret tasks differently. And instead of assuming they see the things like the way I do, I want to understand their reflection of the task. I plan to incorporate approaches such as culturally responsive teaching, where students' identities inform learning, dialogue-based learning, where students explore each other's ideas, and regular reflective check-ins, both for myself and the class. By doing so, I hope to create a classroom environment where students feel heard and valued. Ultimately, this reflection shapes the teacher I want to become, the type of teacher who listens deeply to their students, questions assumptions, and sees each one of the students as holding a unique perspective worth understanding. For the fourth part, which is broader meaning and symbolism, journey of growth. The mirror symbolized my growth far beyond a single experience. At first, it represents self-reflection, but now it symbolizes a shift from inward certainty to outward awareness. It represents my values, which is openness, adaptability, and respect for perspectives that differ from my own. It also symbolizes resilience, just like a mirror shifts its reflection depending on where I stand. I've learned that I, too, can shift my mindset when faced with challenges. The mirror reminds me that I don't have to stay fixed in one viewpoint. Growth happens when I'm willing to reposition myself. If I were to share this metaphor with other teachers, I would say a mirror doesn't just show who you are, it shows who you could become depending on how you bravely change your angle. This object now reflects my journey from relying on a single perspective to embracing the richness of multiple perspectives. For the closing part, to conclude everything I've talking about in this video, if there is just one insight I am taking forward, it is this: meaningful understanding begins where my own perspective ends. The mirror taught me that growth is not about reinforcing what I already know, but about being brave enough to reposition myself and see through the eyes of others. This shift will continue to guide me both as a learner and as a future educator, reminding me that the most powerful learning happens when I am willing to look beyond the reflection staring back at me. That's all for me. Thank you very much.